Hello, Pauper fans. This is Mathonical, and you're joining me for round 3 with Slivers. Opening hand is a perfectly reasonable keep, although the one thing that we would like is to have another untapped green source for these virulent Slivers to get them down early, but we will do what we can with this opening hand. We're up against random function, and it looks like he is on Elves. This does give Slivers a hard time, since he will be able to produce a lot of blockers, and if he ever starts going off, there's basically no way we have of getting back in the game. And Priest of Titania basically means that is very likely. But the one we have of kind of like sneaking in a win is with these virulent slivers, or virulent slivers, however you want to pronounce them. Basically, what we got to try and do is get a lot of poison damage in just to kind of get the infect win. So we really need an untapped green source here. Vines doesn't give us a way to survive an additional turn. It basically means we can stop one of the pump effects from these Timberwatch Elves, but unfortunately, since we can't play one of these Virulent Slivers down now, we can't get in a ton of poison counters. Basically, the only way we have of winning this, if he does a full-out Alpha Strike and tries to go for the win, which I think is very likely, and it looks like he will, the only way we have of winning this one right now is if off the top we get another Virulent Sliver or another Vines. Fortunately, Plains will not do it. We're still going to swing in, but as long as he remembers that he can untap a creature with Aquarian Ranger, yeah, nothing much we can do there, and we do not win that game. That's alright. We'll run it back in game 2. And we've got a couple cards we can bring in from the sideboard. Basically, I'm looking to bring in these Gut Shots. It's a way for us to interact early and possibly slow down his deck. Basically, looking to aim it at a Priest of Titania. And we don't really need the Spinneret Slivers. He doesn't have any flying. I also wanted to bring in the Prismatic Strands, hopefully just buy an additional turn or two so we can get enough large creatures and hopefully force some chump blocks just to reduce the creature count on his side. And we also want the Coalition Honor Guards just as a way of stopping a lot of their targeted shenanigans. So we're going to be also bringing out a couple Mutagenic Growths and a couple Vines of the Vastwood. I'm still on the fence whether to pull out the Vines or not. I don't feel like we need all the mutagenic growth, so that's perfectly fine. But we're going to try it like this and see how it goes. That's what leagues are for. Figuring it out. Taking a look at our opening hand. It's a little sketch since we don't have another white source, but we're just going to have to hope we draw into it because this is a reasonable keep. We've got double green to get our Virulent Sliver and Predatory Sliver out, and a Gut Shot to disrupt them. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and keep it and hope for the best. At least being able to get the turn 1 to turn 2 does bode well for us, so we're going to hope that's good enough to get there and that we draw at least a white source at some point. Drawing a Lead the Stampede means we'll be able to play for the longer game and get a lot of creatures, hopefully overwhelming our opponent. Priest Titania comes down. That's what we want to hit with the Gut Shots. We also want to hit it in response to the Birchlore Rangers, just in case he was going to play some additional creatures by tapping both of them. Gonna swing in for some damage. We did draw another land. It's a tapped one, but it does mean we're gonna get up to 4 mana, which does mean that we'll be able to cast Lead the Stampede and at least a Plated Sliver at the same time. Huntmaster comes down. I was afraid of him tapping these 2 creatures to start creating some other creatures, but thankfully that didn't happen. So we're just gonna go ahead and cast the Lead the Stampede. Using the green mana, we want to hold up the white to play the Plated Sliver. Get 3 slivers off of that. That's perfectly reasonable. That is great. We'll take all of that. And we're going to go ahead and... well, hopefully it doesn't glitch out. It does glitch out. That's a little unfortunate. We did... actually, I think I might be able to quickly get that back. Let's just quickly turn past it. There we go. Went a little too far, but basically, rather than go back and risk having that glitch hit again, we're just going to talk about the turns that followed. Drawing the Coalition Honor Guard was going to be our way of closing out the game, but because we were able to draw those additional cards with the Lead the Stampede on the previous turn, we were able to get down the Plated Sliver. On our turn, we were able to play the second Virulent Sliver and a Sinew Sliver, so now we're both attacking his life total and getting him with enough infect counters here. So basically any one of our creatures getting through next turn is enough to win. He was unable to draw anything on his next turn, and he had already chump blocked, so basically he wasn't going to be able to protect himself by playing enough chump blockers, so we ended up just squeaking out game 2. We were just a little bit lucky that we were able to make a play. Basically, the turn when we played the Plated Sliver, we still had the Mutagenic Growth in hand, so when we swung, he did block our 2-3 with his Huntmaster, and that's where we're able to use the Mutagenic Growth for the gotcha factor. Basically, by killing this creature, we don't have to worry about a ton of chump blockers coming out, and that was the big difference that allowed us to win this game. In my opinion, it was a little bit of a misplay to block with the Huntmaster since we weren't presenting lethal in any way, and the chump blockers are definitely more relevant than trying to eat one of our creatures for free. It is a little bit of a risk to play into a Mutagenic Growth like that. So, sorry for the unfortunate corrupted replay, but we're just going to go ahead and move on to game 3. For the sideboard, I did end up bringing in one more of the Mutagenic Growths. I felt like I really did like that effect. And I took out one of the Prismatic Strands. I decided it was going to be a little bit better just to be a bit more proactive, being able to attack more freely without having to worry about blocks. And if we're trying to just buy turns, if he's already gone off, then there isn't really much we're going to be able to do about it. So decided to take out one of the Prismatic Strands. Taking a look at our opening hand. Unfortunately, we don't have one of our 2 gut shots, but this is a reasonable hand. It's going to allow us to play a turn 1 into turn 2, and then if we draw another white source, we'll be able to make a double play on turn 3, or a green creature of some sort. That would also be great. So we're going to go ahead and keep this and hope it's explosive enough to have some winning chances. Opponent did mulligan, so that makes things a little bit better. But there's the Priest of Titania that we were a little bit afraid of. This means that if he's got Lead the Stampedes or anything like that, he could run us over. We draw a green creature, so we're going to be able to play a double spell next turn. That is exactly where we want to be. But it looks like he does have exactly what he needs to put a ton of creatures on the board. Not much we can do about that except watch it happen. So we are just going to go ahead, play our 2 creatures. And we have to swing. Basically, we don't, like, we're just kind of have to kind of bluff the Mutagenic Growth. Thankfully, that does work, and we're able to get in for damage. But at the same time, if he plays a ton of creatures, we don't really have the means to get past it at the moment. And there is the Lead Stampede. He does reveal 3 creatures, including another Huntmaster. That basically means it's game over at this point. We don't have a way of getting around this many creatures. The only chance we'd have to survive is if he doesn't have anything else beyond that, and we're able to somehow run him over. Sentinel Sliver does give us a chance. Next turn we'd be able to play a Sinew Sliver and a Sentinel Sliver and just start attacking in with everybody. And hoping that it would start forcing some chump blocks. Distant Melody means that is game over. Many of you have probably already watched Elves go off many times. There's plenty of good streamed content and YouTube content from people like the Maverick Girl. She produced some very well done Elves videos, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the way this one ends. And basically, he played out a ton of creatures. He got 22 extra elf tokens from his Huntmasters. And yeah, there is no way we have of getting around this. He's also able to gain a ton of life because he played 2 Nylea's Disciples. A little unfortunate, but that is one of the side effects of trying to play a nice linear deck like Slivers. We do get run over occasionally when Elves does combo off. A little unfortunate, we've lost round 3, but that's not going to stop us. We're just going to go on to round 4. I'll see you there.